Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. Now this one is a bit special for me. I've been looking forward to doing this since I got hold of it at TF Nation 2024. It's a figure that nobody in their right mind thought would ever happen, because they had no reason to think it would ever happen. Why would it happen? And then it happened, and then everybody lost their shit, and I can see why. I'm going to be gushing for about the next 26-27 minutes. So we're going to crack straight on into this, ladies and gentlemen, because this is something rather incredible. This is the review for Transformers Missing Link Convoy. Right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to start off the bat by saying it's very, very weird to own this. Okay, I own the G1, obviously I own the original. It's very, very weird to own this. I wanted one. I resigned myself to the fact that I might not have the money for it. So, do you know what? If I don't get it, I don't get it, even though I did really want one. So, having the opportunity to actually have it in hand, having got it at TF Nation 2024, this elicits a very, very interesting response. And a very, very interesting feeling for me. So it's Takara, so the whole thing is like sort of in Japanese. It's this is very exciting. I will say this right off the bat, right? I'm just going to gush about it now. I love this thing. Right? I've fiddled around with it. I love this thing. What I will say, however, that is somewhat of a negative is they waited until the 40th anniversary to pull this stunt, right? They could have pulled this shit back in the 30th anniversary, really, from what I can see from the engineering and everything. I reckon they could have got away with this a decade ago, and they didn't. But the fact that it exists now, right, is the fact that it exists at all, actually, let me say, I think is truly, truly remarkable. And from the sounds of it, this isn't the only one they're going to do. I think they're also doing Bumblebee and like maybe a few others. So it's I'm going to be interested to see where this line goes, really. But yeah, this is G1 Prime. It's a G1 Prime. It's in a box. Look, yeah. The box is fucking lovely, right? What we're going to do is we're just going to get it out of the box. We're going to look at accessories. We're going to do side comparisons with the original toy. Incidentally, actually, speaking of toys, so this one cost me £70 from In Demand, and it's just a cab with some accessories and that. The version that comes with the trailer was 110, and I wasn't willing to drop another 40 quid on a trailer that actually will work with this one. There wasn't enough differences in the trailer to warrant another 40 quid dropped on it. So I was happy just with this version alone. But, you know, fuck it. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Now we're going to get on into the figure and the accessories. And here he is. I've got tea, by the way, which is fantastic. Now, this guy here, seeing it in the box, right, and then having it in hand, two very, very different things, but they elicit almost exactly the same response as I mentioned earlier, and that response is like sort of the feeling that I would have had when I first got the original. Speaking of which, the original right here, let's do a size comparison. They're the same size, same dimensions, but there's a lot more obviously going on with the Missing Link version than the original. Certain things have been changed, certain things have been swapped out. Let's take a look at the top, for example. I'm going to be doing my comparison thing just here, so bear with me. Right, screwdriver to hand. You'll see on the original here that this is all, there's a dividing line just here. And the mechanics of the arm, there's loads in this build just here. For example, if I was to take the arm apart, which I did when I was little, there's a spring-loaded thin plate in there, there's springs, there's this, that, and the other. Basically, all to make this arm section work on this, okay? There's about 10 different fucking parts in this section of the arm alone, right? Fucking focus, you son of a bitch. This review is important to me. Right, so, however, with this version here, all that's been changed. So, instead of, I mean, obviously I've not dismantled this, but I can only assume that the working mechanism on the inside no longer applies like it did on the original, because now you've got a butterfly joint just here that will allow the arm to extend up to the shoulder, whereas the original on this couldn't do that. Okay, so it basically just rotated on a 360 degree on this point just here. Other interesting things to note. Hang on. There we go. Trying to get Prime back into cab mode. Other interesting things to note is the smokestacks here do not twizzle around. On the original, they always did this. So this one, they're stuck fast. Build wise, well, the original was all. Okay, I got that wrong. I thought the legs were always metal. They're not. The legs are plastic. Feet were metal. Same on this just here. On the underside, you'll notice differences in the operation for the crutch and everything like that. So when you pull the legs out on this one, due to this mechanism just here, the legs would like sort of spring out to give them a bit of a stance. This one here doesn't rely on that. So there's a different build in there to allow for the hips to thighs to rotate and everything like that. These are now two separate sections just here, whereas on this one it was all one section. The original obviously had knee articulation, the same as this one does, and it was just basically forward and back for the foot, whereas this now has tilt action and everything like that. So there's vastly different ways in the way these two have been built, and the best part as well, if I open up original Prime, what you've got is you've got the seating area for the Diaclo drivers, and that's where you conventionally store his fists so you don't lose them. Missing Link Convoy, the new version, doesn't have a seating area. Instead, he has the Matrix of Leadership chamber. I suppose maybe you could potentially take that out and see what's behind there, because you'll see there is like a blue plastic behind it, so maybe there's still a seating area behind there. I don't know. I'm not going to fuck around and find out. And the headlights are different, as you can see. On this version, you plug the hands in. With this version, the hands are connected, which, believe it or not, makes a massive difference. So the hands are built in, and I'll show you that in the review. But now that means because of that, all this section here on the new version is missing to accommodate the hands which are attached on swivels just here. All this section here is gone, which, yeah. So you've taken the original, you've completely reworked the engineering in order to make this happen, and yet you somehow still managed to make it look essentially the same. This is now painted on, instead of like these stickers here, this is now all painted. And instead of the sticker just there, we've now got a painted on faction symbol there. And the other thing I wanted to mention, which is actually a tiny, tiny, tiny little thing, but for me, quite ingenious. So the legs section for this sit together pretty flush. But I guess because of the way this has been re-engineered, the legs on this now have port and post mechanisms to just lock them together in truck mode. Just like that. Bad points for this, what I will say is you can see here where the plastic has been removed from the moulding sprue, and so I've got 4 little nice white dots in the back of the truck there, which I can't do anything about. But sod it. I mean, that's a very, very, very minor gripe for what you ultimately end up with, which is a rather incredible reimagining of a 1980s classic. So yeah, so that's just me talking nonsense about the engineering, really. Let's have a look at some of the things that this new version comes with. So right, it comes with a little plastic bag full of shit. Let's see what's in here. So I've not investigated this yet. Right, so he comes with he comes with the tech spec decoder, which I will say is about 3 times thicker than the original. That's like, yeah, that's a lot thicker than the original ones you used to get. It comes with a sticker sheet, which is interesting because a lot of these stickers that you see here, like these would be the rear tail lights, as you can see. But a lot of this detail is now sculpted into the figure. So I'm not sure if I'm going to apply these or not. I may do, I may not, see how I feel. We have the instruction booklet for how to transform if you're a dribbling moron. We have, I don't know, maybe a little, a card of some description. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to convey. And this looks like the old product sheet. Which I guess to a degree it kind of is just like with a massive update talking about the figure, I guess. Yeah, but done in the style of the old product sheet, which is actually kind of cool. In terms of other accessories, let's get this shit out of the way. In terms of other accessories, he comes with one matrix of leadership, all cast in plastic. There's no metal like this, like the version that came with the Hot Rod and Cyclonus 2-pack, Classics 2-pack. So that's all cast in plastic and painted. One Energon axe, so you can do that one thing that he did that one time. Basically, you just open that up, put it onto his hand, make it flush, close it back up, and then that'll be that. I might demonstrate that, I might not. And it comes with his signature rifle. Now the rifle has been recast, from what I can gather. It's a lot thicker. The barrel is a lot thicker than the version that I had, the G1 version. I had the original barrel one, which was like sort of the thin barrel. But yeah, that seems pretty decent. Yeah, no complaints there whatsoever. So we're back to this guy now. He will work with the G1 trailer. I'm not going to bother combining the two because I can't be able to get the trailer out of the styrofoam box. Speaking of styrofoam, the original the box for this actually has a styrofoam insert. I mean, it's little details like that I think are absolutely fantastic. Looks like it doesn't sit together perfectly flush, but then again, I might have just mistransformed it because I am one of those dribbling morons that I mentioned earlier. Lovely shiny chrome. I've got the anime version, so there's the version of this that comes with the trailer has a more toy coloured accurate head, whatever. This one has blue windows and an anime style head, which which you'll obviously see when I transform the fucking thing. Overall first impressions, I bought this. I didn't open it until I got home after the convention, and even then I waited a good few hours. I just stood there looking at it in its box thinking, do I open it? Do I not? What am I going to do? And I thought to myself, well, no, I should open it because I spent 70 fucking quid on this, right? I'm going to open the bloody thing. But there was, so for all the excitement and sort of the giddy feeling that, all the childhood giddy feeling that, there was a certain level of apprehension as well. Do I go ahead and open this or not? Am I just happy to have it in my collection and keep it on a shelf where the box can collect dust as opposed to the figure itself? So yeah, I spent a good couple of hours debating whether or not I was actually going to do it or not. I did, and yeah, I don't regret it. This is a wonderful, wonderful what's the word I'm looking at? Thing. Let's call it a thing. This is to basically redesign the engineering to such a degree that you could still get the exact dimensions and the exact shaping of the mold, all the rest of it. Really, really quite remarkable. So hats off to those at Takara. Yeah, you did all right here, fellas. So thoughts and opinions. I have them. The figure is because I regard this as like sort of almost perfect. This here is almost perfect, but not despite its new gimmicks and everything like that, is not as perfect as this one. And it's a tiny little thing. And I'll come on to it when I show the robot. But there's one little thing that they could have done with this, considering they went all out and like redesigned elbows, shoulders, knees, and toes. There's one extra little thing they could have done here, which would have just made it beyond this, and sadly they didn't do it. So Do you know what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to take this straight to robot mode. And actually, when I transform it into robot mode, you'll see. Let's do the original first, okay? Just to give you all a refresher. So let's start by folding out the legs, and listen to that. That's something this new version doesn't have. Okay, and as you pull them down, you'll see that the legs sort of part a little bit. Toes. Fuck you. Toes. Then we open up the cab, break apart the back of the cab like that. Click, click, and then fold up the head. Right. Look, do you know what? Even for the sake of finishing this off, right, I am going to give this guy his fists, okay? Because that's what you want, a fisted Prime. Right, so let's take this back just a little bit. So that's the figure that we all know and love, okay? So the shoulder, as I said, shoulders go around 360. That arm is loose as fuck. The elbows would come up and go out to the sides like this, transformation purposes mostly. You couldn't get him to put his hands on his hips. The closest you could get was this, right? to be honest, that's a bit shit. But then again, articulation wasn't the name of the game back in 1984. As I said, a little bit of knee bend just there. But you notice how the legs had that stance because of this mechanism in the back. Okay, so that's G1 Prime. This fella right here. Let's do that. Let's get in there. Right. Exactly the same process, exactly the same transformation, but it feels different. And maybe it feels different because you don't have the click, 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 or any of those noises when you move certain parts. So on the G1 Prime, it feels quite stiff when you pull the legs out. On this, fucking bent the knee. So the knees have a sound, but just a smooth, fuck off, smooth transition just like that. And that feels really nice. That feels smooth as all hell. So again, exactly the same transformation. Pull up the feet just like this, but now the feet have ankle articulation the original didn't. Okay, so that's that right there. So let's bring the camera up, bring it out a little bit, and then for the cab, exactly the same thing. Just pull out, but now you see that the hands are attached, just like that. Fold out the hands, just like this, just like that. Break apart at the back. Again, there's no snapping there. You notice that? That's a clean transition from one to the other. No click, click, click. But we get it in the elbows. Lovely sounding. And then, same as always, flip up the head and you're done. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand them side by side. Ladies and gentlemen, there we have G1 and his new body, his new incarnation, and it feels, weight wise, they feel very, very similar. There is, so I'm just trying to take it in. The molding of the head is different, but there are also striking similarities as well. So you'll notice like the little grooves just here on either side of the faceplate. On the new version, has exactly the same. Instead of 2, it has 3. 1, 2, 3, just like that, and just like that. So the head has been the head is almost exactly the same actually in terms of the feck. Yeah, try focusing. Joe, fuck you. There we go. The head is almost exactly the same. The head, I think, is it bigger? No. No, the head's the same size. There are subtle remolding differences, but again, very, very similar. All in all, it's... Look, the original couldn't do this. The original could not do that. Look at the way that joint operates. Just like that. Just like that. So it moves out to the side. And this is what I was talking about. Focus, you son of a bitch, please. Thank you. If I bring up G1's... Sorry if I'm stuttering a lot and everything like that. I'm absolutely stunned by this toy. So you'll notice how different this section here is compared to this section here, by having accommodation for a place for the hands to go. There's no weird... Oh, fuck me. From the back, there's no weird butt flap thing. Anything like that. The weird thing about this, though, is there's still this open cavity thing just here. Now, I know the head's got to go somewhere and sort of like that. But I'm surprised with all the extra added features and everything like that. And speaking of extra added features, the wheels now even go out to the side for articulation purposes. But I'm surprised that there isn't like a sort of a flap that you can just put up, or the fact that this could have been filled in completely to some degree or another. At least that section. I'm surprised that there's still this open wound in the back of him. But yeah, he is a remarkable toy. And the fact that he could do all the things now that the original couldn't, it's like having the version of the original that you thought you had in your head when you were 5, right? Except you're 44. You know. So now he can, I don't know, do things. The head actually turns now. Let's give him his gun. I love the original. I do. I love the original, but he can't do that. He just can't. That leg can't go out anywhere. Oh, the other thing, in terms of articulation, that the original couldn't do. Now this is a bit stiff, so I'm always careful when I do this. A 1 point of articulation ab crunch. Again, the original didn't have it. This version, now this is the one thing, they've added all this articulation, they've given it a one point of articulation ab crunch that I can't fucking get back in place. Don't you fucking dare break on me, you fucking cunt of a thing. There we are. It's got now all this shoulder articulation, it's got, you know, attached hands, ankle rockers and tilts, and like sort of the legs move out and the wheels move, blah blah blah. But the head goes from side to side, true, but cannot look up unless you move that plate. Now, what you could have done as a final step of transformation for this, right? For a final step of transformation, what you could have done was, I don't know, you flip over the head like that, and then you pull the head up by a millimeter, 2 millimeters max. Give him a little bit of a neck so he could have like sort of head rotation, neck tilts, all that sort of thing. That's the only thing they didn't add to this. And that, for me, is my biggest gripe. This thing here is fucking cool as fuck, right? Let's not pretend it's not, right? But you've added all this articulation. You've basically redesigned the toy, recreated the toy, and you left that out. I find that really, really weird. I'm not going to bother giving him his axe and his matrix and that. You've seen all that shit before, probably in other reviews. Probably in reviews that were a lot damn fucking better than this one. I feel like all I've done is ramble and go blah, 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 blah. But fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, this toy is absolutely incredible. There he is with his dad. Different generation, you see. There we are. It won't focus, but you know what? I'm fucking used to that by now, quite frankly. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Missing Link Convoy, the G1 articulated Optimus Prime. He is 10 years late as far as I'm concerned. But then again, I'm a petty fucking small-minded individual. We all know this, right? But I do believe, really, instead of like the thrilling 30 line where we've got a shit IDW Megatron, a questionable Orion Pax, and some other stuff no one gave a fuck about, the thrilling 30 series could have been articulated G1 line, really. But let's see what Takara does with this. Let's see where it goes. I know they're doing Bumblebee, and in that case, very easy to do Cliff Jumper. I know they're next. They're going to cost 40 quid though, which is insane considering they're not as big as my thumb. I'd love them to do Takara. You see, the thing is, people complain about Studio Series 86 Megatron being insane. Oh, he's going to be a tank, not a gun. If Takara decides to do Megatron, he will be a gun, because it's Takara. They don't give a shit about American gun toy laws. Who else would get in my comments and tell me who do you want to see get the Missing Link treatment? I'm quite happy for them to do a complete rerun of 84 and 85 if they were going to do it. I want to see Trailbreaker. I want to see Sunstreaker. Updated molds for Ironhide and Ratchet so people can stop fucking bitching finally about their robot maids don't look anything like the cartoon, and like just either grow up or suck a dick. Yeah, I'd love to see Sunstreaker. I'd love to see Mirage, Trailbreaker, Grapple. Just get them all done. Just fucking do them all, because I guarantee you there is a market for this shit, right? And if nothing else, this figure right here is a testament to there must be a market for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have fucking done it in the first place. You wouldn't have done like this one figure and gone, oh look what we can do, but that's all we're going to do. So go fuck yourselves. Yeah, I want to see what comes next. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Missing Link Prime. That is my review for Missing Link Prime. Final thoughts is he's fucking great. What an absolutely fantastic idea. What a fantastic idea. 10 years too late, as I said, but whatever. What an incredible idea that is. I mean, just look at that stance compared to that stance, right? Oh, do you know what? I still love my G1 Prime though. That's the fact of the matter. But this thing here is, yeah, very, very happy with this guy. Head sculpt is on point. And it's nice to actually have a G1 Prime with die-cast metal where none of the paint's chipped or anything like that. So the colours are vibrant as well. I could go on, but do you know what? For your sanity, I'm going to stop. So thank you very much for watching this review. This is Gerald Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I will be back relatively soon, I guess, with other videos and shit on my channel, because that's what my channel's there for. I do hope you enjoyed this review. Leave a comment, rate, subscribe. Although basically on the strength of this review, I personally wouldn't. But there we are. That's just me. Yeah, I've enjoyed doing this review, even though I've rambled a lot. I am going to enjoy this figure for many, many years to come, unless, of course, I have some sort of weird Final Destination accident. So, thank you for watching this. Until we see each other again, thank you for watching and take care.